Hey friends, it's Eric Hulkran, and on this episode, we're talking about getting in shape. If all of this has been difficult for you, the folks from Eastbrook Homes are hooking you up today. Lifestyle coach Anita Miron, she lives in an Eastbrook home in an Eastbrook neighborhood, and she's going to talk to you all about how you can turn your home into a place that's a sanctuary for getting back in shape. I loved this conversation. I hope you get a lot out of it. This is the Michigan's Best Podcast. Anita, how are you today?
I'm excellent. Eric, how are you?
I am amazing. So you are a life coach with Team Beachbody, and we've got you here today to talk about a couple really helpful things on behalf of Eastbrook Homes. But before we get into all of that stuff, what neighborhood are you in, and what type of home from Eastbrook are you currently abiding in, if we can use that word?
Yes. So we live in a neighborhood called Glowing Woods, and that's in Jenison, Michigan.
Let's go back a little bit to that moment that you walked into the house. What was it about this home that you loved?
Yeah. So the open floor plan. So before living in an Eastbrook home, I had lived in older homes that, from the 50s to the 80s, 90s. And everything was very pocketed and closed off. And so I loved how new and fresh and open everything was when I entered the house.
Well, and we're obviously in a unique time in human history where we either get to fall more in love with our home, or we come up with this, I don't want to live here anymore because I've been in it for hundreds and hundreds of hours. But one of the things I want to talk to you about is we're at the point in COVID-19 where people are trying to figure out how they can get their, we'll call it the shelter in place. I mean, they're calling it the COVID-19, right? But how we get that shelter in place weight off, because obviously you're in your home, you're sedentary, and getting around and moving around is super important. But a lot of people aren't necessarily sure how to do that without a gym. And so can you sort of give people kind of a starter guide as they get into fall and back to school and maybe want more of that energy as we have less sunlight to give us that energy, that we could get up and get moving around?
Yeah, that's a really great question, because that's what I do for a living. So when I got started with Team Beachbody, I was 200 pounds. And I just had my daughter. So I was really motivated to lose weight, but terrified to go to the gym. I was like, ain't nobody getting me in that weight room with all these guys. There's
Yep.
not, no.
Yep.
And then on the cardio machines, I just wasn't seeing progress. And so I looked into home fitness, and there are so many different home fitness options. So I won't just plug Beachbody, but there are all sorts of apps and YouTube where there's free workouts too. But there's all sorts of things you can do in your house, and you don't require a humongous amount of space or equipment. Also, I mean, now with the weather being nice, running and walking and biking is really, really great too. But a lot of people don't have that mobility or comfort level with running or even walking. People have degenerative discs or, different ligament problems and pain.
Sure. Yeah.
So being able to work out from home and finding a program that really matches where you are at is so crucial. And knowing that you don't need a ton of space or a ton of equipment either.
And give me kind of a ballpark. If somebody were getting started, they're seeing this and they're like, I don't feel really good. I've been down. I mean, I'm in a basement, right? I've been down in the basement for 200 days. I don't have any sunlight in my life, those sorts of things. What time should they be dedicating on a daily basis to getting up and moving around?
Oh, all you need to get your metabolism going and to get your body feeling awake and alive, 20 minutes. 10 minutes to just get it started, 10 minutes to really work. If you have more time, that's ideal. 30 minutes is optimal. 30 minutes a day, 6 days a week. What I do is I get up before the kids. I set my alarm for 7 a.m. My kids are up at 7:45. I chug my pre-workout formula, which I can tell you more about later, but I chug that like I would chug coffee, and it just gets me going. And I will do interval training or weight training, anything, really anything to get your blood going. And that's going to really set the tone for your day and give you so much more energy and motivation to get out and do more.
So do you recommend typically to start in the morning? And I asked this question specifically because I was doing a podcast earlier today with a coworker who he does it at 4 to break up his workday, right? So that instead of his commute, he wants to do that to kind of go, I am done working. I'm going to go do this activity. I'm not sure if that's ideal, which I want to get your feedback on, but I thought it was an interesting life hack since there isn't a commute to go, I'm done working at this hour. I'm going to work out so I come back to my house in a different mindset.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And I actually tend to do that too. Some days I'll work out twice. I'll do 30 minutes in the morning and then I'll go for like a 20-minute power walk or 20-minute bike ride with my kids. I try to do something more recreational to break up the day at that point. Especially if your kids are home, everyone
Sure.
getting out to kick the ball around or play some tennis is awesome. But for me, the reason I do it first thing in the morning is because I will find every reason throughout the day to not do it. There always something comes up. Kiddo gets sick, hurts. People are requiring my attention. I get lazy and tired and unmotivated as the day goes. That's just me. Like by 7 p.m., you can't get me to do anything. Like I'm up on a log. I'm watching TV with my kids on the couch. But first thing in the morning, there's nothing getting in the way of that, of me
Awesome.
starting.
For sure. Now, one more question about sort of human physiology, because I've heard different tales of this when you talk about 7 o'clock. For people who like to work out at night, though, I've read and heard a couple different times that you need like 2 or 3 hours before you should go to bed after working out. Is that what you would advise as well? So like a 9 p.m. workout, you're like going to bed at 2 a.m., right?
Yes. Well, okay. So when you work out, you release endorphins, which cause you to have mental clarity and energy. You release dopamine. So you're getting so much mental activity on a chemical level that it's so hard to just shut it down.
Sure.
So it does typically take me, if I work out at 8, 9 o'clock at night, if I do like a class or something, then I'm up till midnight usually trying to come down from that high of like the endorphins and things like that.
So you've given us some great advice so far, but I want to talk about discipline because as you said early on, you started at 200 pounds. You had no discipline at that point, but you found something that worked for you and clearly have turned it into your career at this point. So, and we don't need to go from walking to sprinting at this point as I'm sure people are looking at you and going, okay, so she's figured it out, but I'm not sure I can figure it out. What are some micro steps as opposed to, you said, get up 20 minutes, get moving around. What are some steps they can do to get that into be a habit?
Yes. Number one, you have to find your soulmate workout. It's got to be something that you love because otherwise you're just going to dread it every day. I'm telling you, there is something out there for everyone when it comes to home fitness. You just have to find the right program, the right thing. I mean, there's Peloton bikes, there's apps for yoga, there's Beachbody on Demand, which is what I use. So there's all sorts of different options. You just have to try everything at least once. But I will say my secret sauce to success is pre-workout formula. You can buy it from GNC, you can buy it on Amazon, you can buy it from Beachbody, but it is something that gives you this like jolt of energy like coffee. It doesn't have as much caffeine as coffee. And most of the time you can find one that's sweetened with stevia or monk fruit, so it's a little bit better.
Sure. Yes.
But like that zing in the morning, I chug it. I'm like, I have to work out. Like I have to. Like I have so much energy now, and I kind of look forward to that. Like I call it my rise and energize, because I get up and I'm like, I pop my energy drink in and then I work out. So, and there are all different types of brands that you can grab, but it really truly is what I look forward to in the morning. And it gives me that extra energy and jolt to get that workout done.
And so 2 questions on that front. One, when you say try everything, is there sort of a love at first sight with home workouts? Like, will you know when you love that workout, or should you try things a couple times to kind of figure out, like to stay with the relationship analogy, to kind of figure out if this is where we're going to be kind of making our permanent home?
Yeah, I think doing it a few times, like with what I do with Beachbody, we have programs. So you commit to a program, you do it for 90 days or 30 days, whatever the length is. But say you decide to start riding a bike or doing like weight training at home, I would give it a few days just to see, and you'll know it's because what will happen is you'll start to look forward to it. You'll get up and you'll be like, oh, I'm craving that endorphin rush. I'm craving that activity. So for me, I like boot camp style workouts or like CrossFit type style workouts. I like the challenge. I like being focused on becoming a better version of myself physically. So those are the things I look forward to. But you'll know right when you get that endorphin rush and you're like, okay, I can't wait to do this again. You'll just know.
That's awesome. And you talked a little bit about pre-workout. Do you recommend post-workout as well?
Yes. Okay. So nutrition is everything, not just for weight loss, but to show up for your workout feeling your best and then to come away from your workout recovering right. So if you can't recover, you're not going to make it to the next day. And if you show up after a night of eating bonbons and drinking wine on the couch,
How dare you?
I mean, there's a place that it's Friday night, keep it like Friday, Sunday night, but like make sure that you have a good bedtime routine, that you're taking care of yourself at night, drinking plenty of water, not eating if you're not, don't eat if you're not hungry, just, drink water. If you're hungry, eat, but make sure to consider what I do is I like to think of myself as an athlete. If I'm going to get up and work out, make that commitment to myself, I want to treat my body like an athlete. So I'm going to eat the foods that best serve me and my goals. So I'm not saying go on any kind of restricted diet, but maybe try to think in terms of, I need more protein. I need a better source of carbohydrates. I need more fruits and vegetables. That's going to give you that like extra boost and motivation in your workouts. I use a recovery shake, but any protein shake will really help to help your muscles kind of recover. And having a BCAA within your shake, which is a branched chain amino acid, which helps your muscles recover, having that will make it so much easier the next day to get started again. So the key to your diet isn't so much about getting, skinny and losing a bunch of weight. It's more so, can I sustain myself, remain balanced, remain happy, keep my blood sugar, going, and show up the next day without feeling weak and exhausted.
So 2 more questions, then I'll let you go.
Okay.
Question 1, and I've sort of figured out the secret sauce of this, but I want to hear your take on this. How important is getting good sleep to weight loss?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's so important to mental health in general. I actually have a degree in psychology, and I went into psychology because I had my own journey with depression and anxiety, and I wanted to help other people. And what I found was when my mental health is starting to struggle and suffer, that's when my sleep starts to struggle and suffer. I start to get insomnia. So all those things work hand in hand. But if I don't get, for me, it's 8 hours. Everyone knows their number. If I don't get that 8 hours, I'm a mess. Even if I get 7 hours, I'm a mess, especially when I'm eating right and my body is well fueled. I can tell that I didn't get enough sleep. So if you want to be active and pushing your metabolism and remaining up off the couch and doing active things, you have to get enough sleep. And in order to recover, your weight loss and your recovery happens in your sleep. It's not happening right now as you're listening to this. It's not happening while you're working out. In fact, you're damaging your muscles and you're causing inflammation during your workout. So you actually gain weight. So when you go to bed, your head hits the pillow. For those 8 hours, your body's recovering and the muscles are regrouping and rebuilding. And you'll wake up feeling so much lighter and more toned because your body did all of that recycling and doing all the work. So you absolutely need enough sleep. That's so crucial.
And then the final question, as we're all stuck in our Eastbrook Homes working day in and day out, can you give us sort of a gut reaction recommendation of how many times I should be getting up from this desk during the day and walking around? And I don't mean workouts. I just mean stretching, walking, whatever, those sorts of things.
Yes. One of the things I love so much about living in an Eastbrook community is looking out my window and seeing everybody up and walking their dogs. I suggest every hour you take a 10-minute reset. So set an alarm on your phone. What I do, I set an alarm for every hour and it goes off, it says, get your butt off the and I sometimes ignore it, but I have to stay very disciplined. I will stop what I'm doing, which is really hard because I have ADD. So if I stop, it takes forever to get back. But I stop what I'm doing. I get downstairs with my kiddo, or I go outside, kick the ball around with my son, walk my dog, or even just meditate. There are some really great apps that you can download. One is called Headspace, and you can meditate 5 minutes. And oh my gosh, it's like you became a different person. It's like a mini nap. You know how you feel when you wake up from a really invigorating nap? Doing the right meditation can feel the same way. So you're going to actually be way more effective and productive in whatever it is you come back to doing when you do that head clearing session. When you work and work and work and work and work for hours on end and not stop, you end up getting to a watered down version of yourself and you don't produce the best that you can. So definitely getting up 10, 20 minutes every hour, it will make a humongous difference.
Awesome. Anita, if people want to reach out to you and get more information, how can they do that?
Yeah. Okay. So on Instagram, my name is fit_happy_mom. Very simple, Fit Happy Mom. Or you can type in Anita Miron on Facebook or IG and I'll come up too. So my last name is Miron. You should find me there too.
Awesome. Anita, have an awesome week. Thank you for spending a couple minutes with us, and we'll let
Yeah,
you get back
thanks
to it.
for having me. Okay. Have a good day.